it's Mike coming at you with another Planet Zoo Console Edition video. Welcome back to Eden Gardens Zoological Park. In the last episode, we added some caimans to the back of the reptile house, and some of the comments that I had in the last episode, people were a little bit disappointed that I didn't show how I built the reptile house. Apologies about that, I thought it would be a little bit boring if I'm being honest, but what we'll do to rectify that is today, I will very quickly at the start of this episode go through how I approached building the reptile house and what pieces I used. And then I think what we'll do is we'll add a Nile monitor to the other side of the reptile house, and we can try and get this finished off so we can move on to the elephants in the next episode. So let's hop into the zoo, shall we? Right, so here we are in the zoo. So first off, I just want to show how to put the pathing down in this reptile house, because I know a lot of people are having difficulties with this build, taking it off the workshop and then trying to add the pathing in afterwards. Most of the pathing in this enclosure is all on a grid. Use them reptile enclosures as your base point and build off a grid on them. So all coming down this side here is all on a grid. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it around the back, which is why you can see the gap in the middle. And then on the lower floor, the vast majority of the pathing down there is also on a grid. So going all the way around this planter, you will notice it's all on a grid there. And again, just use one of the enclosures as your starting point. Come around the back of the planter, put it on a grid coming all the way back here, and then the stairs should line up perfectly to get it all in place. But I will show upstairs at a moment, because there was a little trick to how to get them stairs properly, because it tries to auto snap, which is a little bit frustrating. So let's just hop up there and I will show you how to do that. So first off, on that left hand side, just have it slanted down, coming down a little bit, and then make sure that path joining is turned off, level it out, that one space, and then turn path joining back on, and then it will connect up to the other side, and then it should line up. As for the pieces that I used in this build, I tried to keep a consistent theme going throughout the entire build, so I only used two different types of wood texture going all the way around. We'll come back to them enclosed in a second and I'll show you how I built them. But on the two floors, because there is the two floors and there was the gap in the middle, I just used this wooden panel in the middle, because as you will notice, as we come through here, there's a big gap there. So using roof tile pieces to cover the pathing upstairs and then dropping it down a little bit to create that roof, I then blocked all of that with them wooden panels and then just put some leaves on it to break it all up. And then as we go to the enclosures, it was just this one piece, and it's absolutely amazing. It's this New World shop facade that you just put over the front, and it worked absolutely amazing. And then just above that, I use these light textures as a trim. So the New World lamp, or the New World wall lamp, should I say. And then just using them and going all the way around the enclosures, and that's how I did the trim. Hopefully, that is enough to show you what it is that I did. Apologies that I didn't show that in the last episode, but hopefully you've got a better understanding now of how I tried to approach this build. And then just covering all the stairs, again, I just used this wooden plank, and then going around the entire stairs, using that wooden plank, going all the way across the stairs to hide the in-game ones. And then in between episodes, I've also decorated around the back, around here, just some more detailing. I've removed some of them screens on the shops because it was a little bit jarring. I think there was a little bit too many screens there. So I just removed some of them. And that is it. Hopefully that has been helpful. If you are still having difficulty with placing this blueprint in your zoos and the pathing, I will maybe try and address it, or I can answer in the comments to try and help you out. But right, we need to get into today's build, and we have got a lot to do. There's going to be a lot of time lapses in this episode because we have got so much to do. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the terrain tool and we're going to drop it down here where the water will go. And I want a path coming out here that walks right over the water where you'll be able to see the Nile Monitors. I'm going to raise it up a little bit there, and then we'll try and smooth that out afterwards. And then coming all the way around the building using the flatten feature, this is where the water will go around the entire building. as you can see, I'm having a nightmare connecting that path. So what I did is I turned off path joining, and then using square, or X if you're on an Xbox, I just raised up the path, put where I wanted it to end, and then turned on the path joining again to get it to connect back up to the building. It was at this point I now started having a new challenge. The water wouldn't go where I wanted it, and I couldn't understand why it was obstructed. I actually realised that it was the path that caused the problem, so I had to delete the path, then place the water in, then put the path back over the top again. With that now all done, it's now time to start drawing the perimeter for where I want the enclosure to go. I don't want the Nile Monitors to be able to swim all the way around, so we're going to mesh off this little piece of water here to keep them in this area, and then we'll use the invisible barriers going around the rest, and we'll just default back to our usual and do loads and loads of rocks, as per normal. With the border now in place, it's now time to bring the staff path down. So following the same idea that we've had around the entire zoo, I'm going to have this backstage area coming around all of the zoo. So having that staff path hidden back there where the guests won't be able to see it, but the keepers can still access this enclosure. We're just having a quick check on the Zoopedia to make sure that we've got enough room, and I'm not sure that we have, so I'm going to combat that straight away this time. We don't want a repeat of the Caimans once again, so let's increase the size of this enclosure so we don't run into any problems further down the line once I've already detailed. Unfortunately, because I put the water and the path in, I couldn't then smooth this little bit of area right here. So I need to come at this at a completely new angle. I had an idea for the elephant enclosure, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this limestone piece right here, and I'm going to use this enclosure as a tester for the elephant enclosure. And we're going to put this over here, we're going to drop it below the ground a little bit, and then we're going to slope that coming down to the water so the Nile Monitors can then use this to walk down to that waterfront. Unfortunately, with the state of the terrain as it is right now, it's actually causing me some problems. So already I'm needing to adjust my idea and then move it around a little bit just so we can slope it down without any of that terrain clipping through these limestone wall pieces. I really want this piece of path to be square, so by selecting it, going on a grid, and then turning on the square edges, I can add another piece of pathing, then delete it, and then it will go square just how I want. We'll buy them Nile Monitors, and we'll start getting them in there. I just need to connect the path down here, and then we should be ready to go to get them in, and we can start addressing their needs. With that all done, it's now time to get these Nile Monitors in. So let's grab all 3 of them. We'll pop them just inside there. And there we go. I can hear some stuck guests. I need to go and have a check of that. We've got lots of people in the park. Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry I haven't got time to come and say hello to you all. We've got way too much to do today. I haven't got time to be coming and saying hello to everybody. But welcome. I hope you're all having a lovely day in the zoo. Right, why have we got people stuck? I can hear them. There they are. Why are you stuck? We'll pause the game a second. Let's just delete some of this roof tile pieces. What is going on? I can't work out why you're stuck. Okay, we'll put all them back again. We'll just pick you up and move you, because that's the normal thing to do. If people get stuck, just pick them up and move them. There you go. That's completely fine. Personal space and all that. There you go. That's fine. Right, Sam. Hopefully they're okay now. Sam, we need to have a look at these monitors, don't we, and see if they're okay. Oh, I just noticed. There is no way for them to get there. These guys are doing really well on the research. We'll get Jonathan on these monitors in a moment. Yeah, we haven't got the path connected over the other side. No wonder they're stuck. Right, that's why. That's why they were stuck. Right, so let's grab the pathing. I don't think it's going to come over the way that I want it to. No, it's going to say it's obstructed, isn't it? And then even if I adjust the length or the width, it's not making any difference. So we're going to have to do exactly the same thing again as we did for that piece of path looking over the Nile Monitors. We'll come just here and we'll hold square to raise it up just where we want it, right there. Make sure the path is exactly the right width. So 6 meters, and then it's not quite lined up, is it? So we'll try and line it up as best we can. I think about there, give or take. That looks pretty straight to me. I don't think we'll be able to get much straighter than that. And make sure the path joining is turned back on again. Yeah, that'll do. We'll cover that up so it won't be too much of a problem. And yeah, that looks pretty straight to me as well. Okay, right, where are these Nile Monitors? Here they come. They're just coming down with them now. Right, so let's have a look at them once they're in here. There we go. I really like the Nile Monitors. They're actually quite cute. Oh, that welfare is not too bad. We're actually onto quite a good start here. They need a little tiny bit of paint tool adjustment so we can sort that. So we'll put the soil heavy just coming around here. We'll touch this up again a little bit later on, and we'll start dabbing in some different paint tools to start breaking this up a little bit. But for now, we'll just make sure that they're getting their required needs. So we'll swap that to the rocks, and then I think we'll just come around the top around here, and there you go. That is now the 100%. We've now done too much rock. I didn't notice this at the time, but I do come back and address this, so don't be too concerned. I can see you all sitting there right now shouting at the screen, Matty, you've gone too much rock. I know, I address it, don't worry. Now, can you guys access that water okay? Let's look at your traversable areas, shall we? Oh, fantastic. They can use that ramp and they can access all of that water. They can't get under the pathing, but that's not too much of a concern. So I think we will now start decorating all of this enclosure up. So let's do that, shall we? I think before I get too carried away and do a normal Matty, let's make sure that we've got some enrichment items down. Now, at the time of recording this episode, I hadn't downloaded the patch at the time. I've now got the patch. I'm not sure if this issue has been resolved, this auto-rotate feature, but I do know that the undo button has been sorted when you are building, which has been a lifesaver. I actually did the update about halfway through this enclosure as I was decorating, and it made it so much easier. There is so many things that have been addressed. I'll make sure to leave a link down below for the patch notes. So if you want to have a read to see all of the things that have been fixed, there was a lot, then you can read them patch notes down below. But let's get these enrichment items down. We'll make sure that their food is down. We'll get one of these dog balls. So as always, we're just dropping the discs below the floor to hide them. And what else can we put down? I think we'll put one of these rubbing pads just down. I think we'll put that over here. And I did notice one of the comments actually suggested that if I put a piece of pathing, Matty. Try saying that 5 times quick. Oh my days. Oh, it's all falling apart. Right, let's try that again. If you put a piece of pathing down and then something that will adjust the terrain and then delete the pathing, it doesn't affect the terrain. Did anybody understand that? I'm not even sure that I understood what I was saying then. Just go with it. I could go back and redo all of that, but I'm tired, okay? Just roll with it. I told you I'm not the most professional YouTuber ever. Just roll with it. It's fine. Let's carry on doing this decorating, shall we? So I can just go quiet for a minute and go and get a cup of tea. Now I've composed myself, had a cup of tea, had a sit down and had a 5-minute break, I'm okay. I can talk again now, I promise. So the enclosure is done, but right now it doesn't work. It looks very, very out of place. I think what we need to do is we need to come all the way around the water, around here, and get all of this done so that enclosure starts blending in to the surrounding scenery, because even the caiman enclosure looks a little bit out of place. I think we need to address this. I think we could do that this episode. We'll come all the way around and we'll get this all decorated. Now that path is not straight. That is doing my head in. It's not quite straight. It's not quite parallel to the building. Let's get rid of that. Let's adjust that. Sorry all these people. Don't fall in the water. It's okay, they're floating. It's fine. So what we'll do is we'll delete all the path going back there. We'll increase the width to 7 meters and we'll try and line that up right in the center. So once again, it's not going to go over the bridge. So we're going to have to turn off the path joining and we're going to have to put it right in the center of the water. We'll lift it up there just to the point where it'll accept. About there, that'll do. And, oh, whoops, I didn't even select it. Bad Matty. And there we go, that's a lot better. There you go, way more centralised than what it is. And if we turn on the angle snap, so we can ensure that that is straight, yeah, that's a lot better than it was. I'm happier with that. And make sure that path joining is turned back on. So it's a little bit slanted, but we'll cover that with roof tiles, it'll be fine. That doesn't matter too much. So we need to go around all of this water with rocks and foliage, which is going to be an extremely long job. This is going to take me forever. Right, come on, mate, bite the bullet. I need to just get on with it. So what we'll start off with is some Taiga rocks, and we'll put a foundation of them going all the way around. After using the Taiga rocks, I'm then going to swap to the Tundra rocks and place some of them just in the middle, just to break it up ever so slightly. And then after the Taiga rocks, we're going to swap to the Tropical rocks, as it gives a really nice breakup of that colour pattern, and it gives all of the textures a different colour. Going all the way around now with some paint tool, as having the grass right next to the rocks looks really unnatural. So we're going to come all the way around, putting some sand, and then we're going to go around once again, placing some rock, but dabbing it in ever so slightly to break it all up. I'm also going to recolour the bottom with soil, as I didn't like the rock. I'm most likely going to cover all of that up anyway, so I probably just completely wasted my time, but oh well, never mind. And now coming along the bottom, we're going to cover all of this bottom floor bed, or seabed, or waterbed, or whatever you want to call it, okay? Whatever, I don't know. I'm going to cover it all up, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to use this underwater eelgrass and come all the way around, which took me probably a good half an hour to do that. And now it's time to start placing all the foliage all the way around, which again is going to be an extremely long job. Now going through all of the various different foliage options that this game has to offer, which is a lot. There is so much options. We're going to go all the way around and just layer it up by putting different types of foliage all the way around, in between the rocks, on top of the rocks, around the rocks, basically everywhere. I'm not even exaggerating when I say I just spent the best part of 2 hours placing foliage down. It's a good job that I enjoy placing foliage. It's probably my favourite thing to do in the game. I love seeing your vision come to life by placing all of the rocks and the foliage around an area and giving it its own identity. And I think around this reptile house, we have succeeded in doing that. It really does feel separate from the rest of the zoo and given this entire area its own identity. There is still a little bit more to do. I need to do the bridge coming over, which I will do in between episodes, but as we come through the reptile house, having a look back through the caiman enclosure and having all the foliage in the background there, it really does add a different element now to this entire area. And then coming through to the Nile Monitor area, and then if we look left, it really does look very built up with the amount of variety of foliage that we have got, and I'm really happy with how this has all come together. If we go upstairs and then we can have a look down at the caiman enclosure from upstairs, and you can see all of the different variety that just goes around the entire area. And there's also a lot of guests up here looking down at the Nile Monitors. And I think we can say that the reptile house is now pretty much finished. We can now start thinking about moving on to a different area of the zoo. I think next episode we'll move over to the right and we'll think about putting that elephant enclosure in. But as an elevated shot, you can see how big and expansive this reptile area is. And the percentage is now up to 29%, so almost a third of our allowance. Not too bad at all. So I'm happy with that. I still think we're going to be okay. But you're going to have to let me know down below in the comments what you all think. I'm going to be back in a couple of days. I will see you all then. Until then, take care, stay safe, look after yourselves, and see you all very, very soon. Bye, everybody!